Here's my dual battery solenoid. You can see painless wiring there. I think this is rated 200 amps continuous duty, and off of one side there I think this is the auxiliary battery, and then that side is my starting battery, and then I have the cable runs up here to where the alternator and the engine fuse box and everything tie together. Yeah, there's the yellow wire. So that's the control for the solenoid. So when that yellow wire goes hot, the solenoid closes, joins those two batteries, and then those 1/0 cables run all the way back. And there's two identical batteries, identical wiring between them. So I think where a lot of people run into problems is they might have their main starting battery here hooked up to a solenoid, and then they have their second battery in the back of the truck with 10-15 feet of wires running back there. So you've got like a little short cable up here, and you've got a really long run of wire back to your second battery. So yeah, anyway, I think that's the secret to my system is two identical batteries. They're both 26 amp hour AGM batteries. They're connected with equal lengths. I mean, I cut two sets of every cable. There's a ground cable and a hot cable. They connect right there in the engine bay. The alternator's over here, and I think the wire runs around. I forget where it connects. But yeah, I think that's the key though, is you got to have identical wires running back to your two batteries, or identical lengths of wire. They don't necessarily have to be next to each other, but if you have one battery hooked up with 1.5 feet of wire and the other battery has 15 feet of wire, there's voltage drop in there. On mine, the two sets of cables are identical, and they're heavy gauge 1/0 cable for both the ground and the positive on each battery. They're independent wires. All the negatives tie together at one point, the positives tie together right at that solenoid, and then that switch controls the solenoid, turns it on and off. That's worked fine. I haven't had any trouble with one battery charging higher than the other. I get about 8 years of use out of a battery. So yeah, I just thought I'd show you that setup anyway. Yeah, so I'll put a link to my webpage down in the video description if you want to read more about it. And if you have any questions that aren't answered there, post up in the comments section below. And as always, thanks for watching.